And next up, we've got a League of Legends player. It's the artist formerly known as Krisland, now called p1noy, who represents Gambit Gaming. He's the AD carry for them. So, question. Used to be Krisland, now you're p1noy. Why did you choose to change your name?
I kind of had a bad relationship with my dad, like since I was 6. I didn't have contact with him. And since I wanted to represent myself on a worldwide basis, I really wanted to go back to my roots. So, like, I'm a half Philippines, so I wanted to like have a name that represent them in some sort of way. And that's why I came up with p1noy, because like p1noy means that you're a Filipino. And there's not been any Filipino in the LCS yet, so that's
why.
Yeah.
Well, I got to ask you about you know, your journey as a player, 'cause it's very interesting. I mean, how did you end up with Gambit Gaming? Because they're obviously an organisation that we associate with, you know, Russian players and people from that part of the world, and you know, you're half Danish, half Philippines. So it's, you know, how did you meet them? How did you get into the team?
I was playing Challenger Series for like 7 months, and then the support I had on my recent team, he was subbing for them in London in week 6 in the summer split, and then suddenly when I was a free agent and he was kind of tryouting with them or something, because Genja said he wanted a break or something, and then he asked me to try out with them, and then I got in contact with them, and I think I played 2 weeks with them, with the Hiva is the support guy called, but then they wanted Edward as well, so then I got out to play with Edward for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then they asked me if I wanted to do like all in on everything, being a pro player and play the relegation for them, and I was like really up for it because it's my dream, obviously. So yeah.
So let's talk about that, because you know, I know you stood in for that one tournament and then you were kind of back to being a sub, and now you're the starting player again. Were you expecting to be able to join the team full time for this next split?
After my performance in relegation, I was kind of confident that I would get the spot, or I would at least be sad if I didn't get it, because I really thought I was like actually earning it by doing pretty good at relegation.
There was a lot of talk that Gambit tried a few other players. You know, there was like, I think Niels was one of them that got a trial, and everyone's raving about him and saying how amazing he is, and you know, but they picked you. I mean, so what do you think? You know, like, actually, yeah, I am that good.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good because I have a lot of team experience, and I think like I can play so many styles that will just adjust to what the team needs. And I think with our new lineup, I think I fit pretty well.
Yeah. What about replacing Genja? Because, you know, he's a player that a lot of people are very, you know, have different opinions about him. Some people think he's a very strange type of player, perhaps not that strong. Other people think he's like a legend, you know, loads of different opinions about him. And you're the guy who is replacing him in this Gambit Gaming lineup. Were you worried about that?
A bit, like, it's big shoes to fill, obviously, but I think like ever since after Spring Split, Genja has been like, it's like whatever. Like, I think the AD carry role now has a lot more impact, so you actually have to do something instead of just being the guy who stands behind everything. Like, you actually need now to make some flashy plays or a bit more aggressive, where I see as Genja was the more like, he was consistent, but he was very far back because he's always been having a great position, but yeah.
So obviously, you know, as we talked about, we know that Gambit Gaming didn't have a great season, you know, went to relegation, everything like that. Are they, do you think they're going to be a much stronger entity in the next split? Are you guys, you know, have you improved in your scrims and your practice? Are you feeling confident for next season?
Yeah, we've been improving a lot actually, but it's kind of hard to say because I don't know how the other teams are doing, except for those we scrim. But I think like Spring Split is going to be a bit of a learning process for me and our top laner Cabochard, because we don't have that much experience on the LCS stage, so I can't really say how we're going to perform because it's so different from playing every week and having a schedule to play instead of just the random tournaments.
Are you worried about lacking that experience? Because we've seen teams in both NA and Europe pick up players that don't have experience, and then they lose a few games and then they lose a few more, then all of a sudden they bench the players. It's like you don't have a lot of time to learn. You've got to be good very, very quick. Are you worried about that pressure?
No, actually not. I was really, I was scared to really fail in the relegation, because that one match I was brought in for meant so much. It basically meant if they were in LCS or not. But I think maybe it will go bad in the start, but we have two very experienced players, Diamond and Edward, that is going to help us through it, I think.
Tell us a little bit about Kabachard, because he's obviously joining with you, and he's, as you said, a kind of player with not a lot of experience. Can you tell us about him and how good he is?
Kabachard is actually really, really good. I think the worst problem about him is his decision making, which I think people judge him on. But in scrims, he's wrecking every top laner. He has this kind of carry role. He's you can compare him to Flame or Save. He's a carry top laner. So, but if he gets consistent and will do very well every game, then I think he's going to be top 3 top laner in Europe for sure.
So we've been, you and your friends and the other League of Legends players have been sat over there talking about the game, and I overheard you talking about the patch the other day, yesterday, 420. We already talked to Amin, or Amin as he calls himself, and he says it's the worst patch ever to have happened in League of Legends. What do you think about 420?
Nothing really changes much in bot lane, except that you can do the Grump level 1 or double golems, which I think is kind of bad, but I haven't tried lane swap, so I can't really say much about that. But I think the patch is actually okay. I think it's pretty balanced, apart from jungle needs to get a bit of a tweak. If they fall behind or just get killed at their buff or something, they're gonna fall really far behind, and that's also gonna set your lanes behind. Because if you let's say you're a jungler who needs if you get behind 1 or 2 levels, then you obviously need to take the blue from your mid lane, which isn't optimal. So it can really snowball. I think it's a really snowball patch, that whoever has a good early game with good mid control or Drake control will have an advantage in most of the games.
What about the AD carry role? I mean, you said not a lot's changed in bot lane. Are we ever going to get back to the good old days when AD carries used to just, non-stop pentakills and carry games? I haven't really seen dominant AD carry play, for a while, it seems. I don't know if that's just because maybe the players aren't the same, or people know how to counter it, but kind of feels like with each patch, AD carries, they rely on their teammates quite a lot.
Yeah, they do actually, but I don't know. I think the most the most contended pick for AD carries right now are Corki, Lucian, and Graves, and maybe Twitch. And maybe Twitch is a pentakill hero that can sneak, but I don't know. It's the game has been so much more objective focused, because you have this speed shrine in the rivers, and you have the Drake that you really need to take, and it's so you don't have this one carry role anymore. It's more like a team game now, which I prefer actually, because you're 5 players on a team. So
a bit more tactical.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit then about teams that you're going to come up against next split. Who do you think's done well in the off season? Who are you think going to win? Who do you think's going to get relegated? Any thoughts about that?
I think Alliance and SK are going to be top contenders. I don't know the Fnatic roster yet, but I don't think they're going to be that up high as they used to be. In terms of who's going to get relegated, I think Unicorns of Love. I don't think they're that good, but I think they have this they have odd picks, so maybe in the start they will get some early wins. Yeah, get some early wins, but I don't think on the long term or whatever, when we come to playoffs, they're not going to win. They're not going to win a whole series. So I think Unicorns of Love will fall maybe with Copenhagen Wolves, but I'm not sure. It's also depending who joins from the expansion tournament as well.
But you guys are going to be clear from it. You're confident of that.
I just my personal goal is obviously in the top, but I want to start a bit down lower because I'm a new player, so I can't say how it will work out. But I think top 4 is good for me. I think we will be around 4 to 5, maybe higher. But I don't want to set too high expectations.
So what surprised me about you while I've been watching you over there is you're watching all the Counter-Strike. You love it.
Yeah, I really love the CSGO. I talked to some of the pro players, and like there's no league tournament here right now, or there's only Swedish, which doesn't interest me at all, because it's not the highest level of gameplay. But I really like the CS:GO, all the hype, since it's a major here. And that's, yeah.
So who's your favorite team in CS:GO?
I don't have a favorite team, but I have some players that I like.
Go on, and who?
Pasha and NBK are my favorite players.
Awesome. Well, look, we're hoping to get them on the couch a little bit later today, so I'll tell them that you said that. But I'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of your time in the lounge. If people want to follow you on Twitter or watch your stream or anything like that, now's the time to plug it. Where can people find you?
At Twitter, no, at p1noy lol, but it's with one instead of I. And then at p1noy lol again on Twitch. And then Facebook, it's also p1noy lol with a one instead of I.
That's very good. Consistent branding. It was great to talk to you. And to everyone out there in cyberspace, we're going to have more interviews like this one from here at DreamHack Winter 2014 in the Twitch TV lounge. So don't go anywhere.